Food delivery. Let's talk about it.
I just saw what I spent on Uber Eats in 2024 and I'm disgusted with myself. This is a different video for me. I've never talked about finances and spending on my page, but I am so disgusted with myself and my habits in 2024, and I kind of want to expose myself and bring it to your attention. First, I want you to guess. Me and my fiance together, how much did we spend on Uber Eats in 2024? We spent $4,100 on Uber Eats in 2024. $4,000 on Uber Eats because of laziness? That needs to stop. That is so stupid. That is like multiple vacations right there. That could be my mortgage on Uber Eats because of convenience, because I'm being lazy. I am not going to be lazy this year. I'm actually going to delete my Uber Eats app right now. I deleted DoorDash while I was at it because what's the difference? This is your reminder to look at your finances, see what you're spending unnecessary money on, and change. $4,000 is so insane to me. I'm so embarrassed. I'm so mad at myself. And I just know I'm not the only one. After doing this, I kind of like started searching on Instagram and YouTube and TikTok to see like what other people are spending. I am seeing people are spending $8,000 a year on food delivery. That's nuts. People are so lazy. And I feel like this has so much to do with like COVID and like getting used to this type of routine. We had to do this. Like we had no other choice. We have the choice now and we need to stop and we need to start being smarter about our finances. Yes, you can be saving. You can be saving for a house, a car, your future. You can be going on trips. I hope this helps someone because it's really helping me.
All right, so this topic actually came up from one of my coaching clients. So if you guys are unaware, I do one-on-one coaching sessions for both YouTubers out there or people who are aspiring to be YouTubers, as well as people who are wanting to get a better control on their finances. I do one-on-one coaching. There's a link down below in the description. I'll have a pinned comment as well if you guys want to sign up for that. But shout out to David because we had a call not too long ago where this was our main point of topic in his budget. And he even said, he's like, JJ, I think this would be a great video series for your YouTube channel. So here we are, David. Thanks, buddy. Now, one thing I want to start out here and say is that this is the importance of looking at your actual spending and what you're spending on. Guys, I say this all the time. When it comes down to actually looking at what you're spending your money on, it's as simple as dividing your bank statements or whatever you use to pay for your expenses every single month and divide them up in categories. Have a grocery category, have a Uber Eats category, have a fast food category, have a gas category, and then you go in and you see all your items that you spent that entire month, go back, add them up, and then you can see exactly how much you're spending, and I will guarantee you, if you haven't done this in a very long time, if ever, when you go and do that, you're going to look at each total of those categories and your mind is going to be blown because you're actually seeing a full dollar amount for what you're spending on each item. For example, I know for a fact, because I do this, that my wife and I spend a lot on going out to eat. That's our guilty pleasure. That's what we spend our money on, but we tend to try and watch that so we don't overdo it. And we actually try to keep track of it every single month. But whenever people don't keep track of it and then the end of the month comes, they're like, where'd all my money go? Well, this could be your issue. And from some of these clips we're going to watch today, my goodness. Now, some of the comments here from this video says, I've never downloaded either of those, thank goodness. I've actually used maybe Uber Eats once or twice, and it was one Uber Eats was because I got like a free delivery, and then we used I think it was an Instacart or something like that. I don't remember what it was. Now, one food delivery we do utilize is Walmart grocery delivery. I think it's an annual fee my wife pays for. I don't know if you guys have kids, but that is nice. That is handy, and it doesn't cost all these extra fees that something like Uber Eats piles on. It's a simple flat fee for the year and you get your groceries delivered. That's one I do highly recommend because not only are you buying food that you can cook to save money on and you can make that food last a long time, it's not getting hit with these multiple fees, something like Uber Eats is. Now this is one to think about. This girl goes, seriously, I can spend $60 on a food delivery and every time I delete the app, I end up reinstalling it when I'm feeling lazy. Such a waste. Guys, that's an addiction. that seems like an addiction to me, right? Like, that's the problem with this easy convenience. People are spending $60 for probably $20 worth of food. I'm sorry, but that's not worth the convenience. There's no way.
I looked at how much I spend on Uber Eats, and it's ridiculous because they also hike you up 30%. So your salmon salad at Dexter's that was $14 is now $19.
We are big Uber Eats users. That's expensive. But I got to drive to this place, then just think about gas, my time, the fact that I got to stop working. I factor all that stuff in there. Uber One is great. It does this brilliant thing for marketing where once you've saved more than your membership, they send you an email and they make it very clear in the app. Hey, you paid for your membership. And then after that, they have a part of the app where it says how much money you've saved. It's a brilliant marketing strategy. But I agree, man. It's the fees have gotten totally ridiculous. There's the service fee, there's the delivery fee, then they tip on the total. There's so many layers of fees, and it's not even unique to Uber. It's everywhere now. And you don't even know what they mean.
Yo, that's brilliant. If Uber Eats, now see, I really don't know the app, so I don't know the intricate details of these apps. But if they're saying, hey, you've saved the money from what your membership costs, so correct me if I'm wrong, guys, is there a membership just to have Uber Eats? I haven't looked this up. I really don't know. Because if so, that's wild. If you're paying a membership on top of the additional fees that comes with the delivery of the food, wow. There's got to be, you got to be making a decent amount of money, or you better be getting paid through your lunch hour. And if you leave the office, they don't pay you in order to make that delivery worth it. Especially one, bring your lunch. So there you go. Now you're really saving money. Or two, just drive somewhere that's close by. So it's maybe a 10-minute trip. So you're not losing that much really time, because let's be honest, most of the time we're at least slacking off 10 minutes of the day. For real. I get it. I'm a busy guy. I get it. But there's at least 10 minutes I catch myself drifting off. I'm like, what am I doing?
I'm so tired of hearing food delivery slander. They're saying it's so financially irresponsible to DoorDash. You know what I think is financially irresponsible? That 4th blush that you just bought that looks a lot like all the other blushes you own. That 12th thing you just bought off of TikTok Shop. Don't even get me started on buying the barrel jeans just because you saw Melody Miles wearing them. This is how I like to spend my money. Chicken tikka masala, garlic naan, rice from Dondori Lounge in Austin, Texas. And I didn't even have to leave my front door.
All right, 2 things, maybe 3 things. 2 things on that. 1, I'm freaking down with some Indian food, guys. One of my favorite types of food in the entire world. You throw me in an Indian restaurant, give me an ice cold brewski with some garlic naan, chicken curry. I like it spicy. I like it Indian spicy too, not just a white boy American spicy. Give me some Indian spice. It's going to make my nose run a little bit. Throw that on some naan. Dig that thing in there. Get real messy with it. Oh, it's one of my best dinners to eat. And then dessert, throw some gulab jamun. I know I always screw that up, but oh my gosh, it's one of my favorite desserts I've ever eaten. Anyways, I digress. I love Indian food. 2, she has a point, right? You can choose to spend your money on what you want. I'm not sitting here, guys, to try and say, never spend your money on food delivery. Somebody who doesn't drink alcohol may look at me and be like, hey, dude, what you spend on your beer is what I'm choosing to spend on my food delivery. That's fine. It's whenever it's over the top. Now, what she's comparing that to is what I would agree with. Now, if you're doing the Uber Eats and you're buying the extra blush or whatever she said, or you're buying the more expensive jeans, I don't do any of that. I don't. I just like to sit back and try to save my money as best as possible. But you do have to spend on conveniences every once in a while in life. So if this is your thing you do every now and then, don't beat yourself up over that. You can spend money on food delivery every now and then. It's when people are doing this too much and they're hurting themselves financially. That's the kind of point I'm making across. It's really just comes down to the same topic I always talk about, and that's spending responsibly. Watch your spending habits and what you're spending your money on.
I can't wait for there to be a class action lawsuit against Uber Eats, DoorDash, all the food delivery services that just add on the random fees, because it's actually ridiculous. And I rarely ever use apps like that, but on Saturday I wasn't feeling the greatest, so I didn't feel like driving, right? And I was like, you know what, let me just order something online, maybe it'll have a good deal or something. So I ordered $12, $13 worth of food. Why the fuck was my total at the end over $30? Because tell me why there was a $4 delivery fee, there was over $8 in other fees and taxes, which, what the fuck are the other fees? I have no clue, because they'll never say it. And then the tip, that shit added up to basically $30. I was like, I ordered $12 worth of stuff, how am I at 30? And you better believe I did not actually order that, because I'm like, I'm not paying that fucking much. What are $8 in other fees? And I swear to you, all these apps, they just make up fake fees for them to just pocket the money, because it doesn't go to their drivers because they don't get paid for shit. And it's not like it's compensating for a late night order or something when it's really crowded. No, this was during the middle of the day, all right? And even with those stupid ass fees, sometimes they'll have the small order fee or the late at night fee, something like that, where it's why are you charging me extra because of how much I ordered or what time I ordered at? Like, there's a reason why less and less people are starting to use these apps because they just upcharge you like a motherfucker. And it's like, why are you upcharging me basically double of what my meal costs just to place the order? And you're not even explaining what I'm actually paying those fees toward.
He's got a point. I also think Homeboy's tipping quite a bit if I did my math correctly. Maybe I messed up. But he said he spent $12 on food. He said he had $8 in fees. That bring it to $20. And he's leaving a $10 tip. Holy tamale. I don't know about you guys, but that's a big tip. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but $10 on $20 expense, which if you really think about it, it's on a $12 expense. That's a nice tip. No wonder he didn't order the food.
How many times a delivery service comes in there and delivers food, and I'm thinking about how much money we're all spending on this stuff out of convenience, when in fact I'm watching stuff being delivered that's no more than 3 miles down the road because it's convenient. And I got to almost think the cost of gas to drive down there is not going to equate to doubling the price of the food. So the gas argument to me is irrelevant in this particular case. So where I'm going with this is I'm going to be a lot more mindful about ordering anything like that online, because I don't think I would overpay 80% for anything. I wouldn't do it for stock. I wouldn't do it for a car. I wouldn't do it for a Mac notebook. I wouldn't do it for this iced tea that I got over there. I just wouldn't do it. But I am doing it, and that's a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about just being aware, guys. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, I sit here and I talk about finances. I talk about spending. I talk about saving, investing, the whole 9 yards. But there's still stuff that I know I have to work on. I'm not perfect. I'm not, the prime example of, hey, look at me. I'm spending every single dollar correctly. No, I mean, I still overspend on stuff. But I think the big picture here is we have to at least understand that we're doing something that's not correct financially. That's the biggest thing here I'm trying to get across is like, yes, we're going to make mistakes. We're going to do things that probably aren't in the best spot for us financially. But the moral of the story is that we are actually paying attention and we're not just ignoring it. Right? Because I know that I've talked to a lot of people in my coaching calls where they're just like, JJ, I don't even want to look at my bank account, or I don't even want to look at my credit card because I already know how bad I've done. That's the wrong thing to do. You have to be conscious of what you're doing. So whenever you do go to do it, you can at least try to have that talk with yourself to talk yourself out of it, to just walk to the car, turn it on. Guys, you can go through a drive-through. Like, now people are too lazy to just get in their car and drive through a drive-through. Before, it was like you were lazy if you went through the drive-through and didn't walk in. Remember back in the 90s? Like, it would be like, oh, look at this big, long drive-through lane and there's no one inside in the counter order. I remember that was always the big deal in the 90s, maybe even early 2000s. But now it's like, I don't even want to leave my house to go through the drive-through.
This is my 2024 Uber Eats Wrapped. How much money did I spend on Uber Eats last year? The answer is I spent $8,298.18 last year on Uber Eats. How many times per month did I order Uber Eats? In January, I ordered Uber Eats 22 times. In February, 19. March, 24 times. April, 19 times. May, 24 times. June, 5 times. I think I went on vacation that month. July, 27 times. August, 22 times. September, 14 times. And in October, I ordered Uber Eats 42 times. That's 4 times a day in some instances. And in November, I ordered Uber Eats 25 times. In December, I started grocery shopping and ordered Uber Eats 9 times. Here's the cost breakdown. Total number of orders was 252. Average price per order was $32.93. The cheapest order, I think this was a pickup for a smoothie, was $9.03. And the most expensive order, which I think was a seafood boil, was $109.58. Most ordered item by far was a miso salmon poke bowl. In summary, I spent a lot of money and I'm working on changing my ways this year. This has been my 2024 Uber Eats Wrapped. Thank you for watching.
Good for him. Good for him. He's sharing his numbers, and he says he's working on his spending habits with the Uber Eats. But hot damn, that's a lot of money on delivery items. I want to say this. I got to say this. If you can afford it and you're able to pay your bills and you're still putting money away for investing and you have this extra money at your disposal to take vacations, whatever it is, if you're still spending wisely and you want to order some Uber Eats every now and then, that's not the argument I'm making here. The argument I'm making here is for my friend David that I did the coaching call with, right? When your problem is spending on something like this that is affecting your finances, That's where we have an issue. That's where we need to fix it, right? If you look back at your finances and you're struggling to pay your debts, you are, going down to $0 on your accounts every single month, and you're barely making ends meet. But then you look back and like, oh my God, I spent $400 on Uber Eats this month, or $200 on Uber Eats this month. That's the problem. That's what I'm trying to make my point to be, and to get the point across of like, we have to watch what we're doing, guys. We have to pay attention to our finances.
So I've had a fast food addiction for as long as I can remember, and I'm doing my budget for 2023. So I decided to look into my bank app to see where most of my money is going. And guys, this is the amount I spent on food and dining. This is the breakdown. This is the total on fast food, $11,000 in the last 12 months. Do you know what I could have done with that money? I would be out of debt right now. Maybe I would have traveled. So I decided to look for the total since I opened my bank account about 3 years ago. Bro, a total of $17,000 on fast food and takeout in the last 3 years. Something's gonna have to change because this is so bad. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm shocked.
What happened?
Your mom has a spending problem.
What?
All right, now that was cute. But this is my point right here, guys, that I made earlier in the video. We have to pay attention to what we're spending our money on. I know there are so many of you out there watching this video right now that do not track your expenses, and you don't know what you're spending every single month. So if that's you, I challenge you to go to your previous month, make your different categories, put every single penny that you've spent last month and divvy it up into different categories and see how much you're spending, and look at your highest one and then work from there. Because when you see that number, that's when you're like, holy crap, this is a little bit of a problem.
Okay, please tell me I'm not the only DoorDasher that does this. I am delivering this order right now, and this was kind of open and it looks so good. So I'm just gonna take a crispy spring roll for myself. I genuinely feel like they never notice. Am I the only delivery driver that does this?
If I found out a delivery driver laid hands on my food, watch out. No freaking way. Oh, boys are hanging pretty low there, I must say. Oh, brother.
My wife's watching, you don't hear this, but probably around $2,500. Right now it is more than I would like because I'm having my kitchen redone. So right now it's a few hundred for sure. Hopefully cooking more at home once the kitchen's done. Not much, yeah. Each month, call it 500.
Yeah, used to a lot more, probably less now. I would go with on the range of like 250.
I was doing well cooking a lot, but we're probably looking at like a couple hundred minimum, 2, 3, maybe 4.
I don't actually do too much takeout. I started cooking, things are healthy, so maybe like $50 a month.
Crazy times we live in, guys. Main point I wanted to get on this video is to make sure you're watching what you're spending your money on. You have to. And shout out to David for the coaching call. I'm excited for our next one, our monthly follow-up. This one's for you, bud. So get after that. I know you're working on it. And if you guys have any coaching calls that you want to do with me, feel free to click that link down below in the description and be more than happy and look forward to talking with you guys. God bless.